Hi Scrapbook friends, this is Michelle at michellesizemore.com. That's Michelle with one L in my website link. This shows how you can reach me. That shows my michellesizemore.com, all lowercase letters, no spaces. This is my Creative Memories website link. You can also find that here. It's easier to remember, michellesizemore.com, and this is my YouTube channel. Alrighty, we're gonna make these journaling mats. These are 3 different ones. These are all, let me straighten up my camera a little bit. These are all using the variety mat pack that comes with the National Scrapbook Day collection for this year, for 2024. I love the fun colors. I love the mushroom border punch, the stickers. It's just a wonderful collection. So I used this mushroom punch. These are the tools I used. I used the repositionable tape runner. I used the trimmer. I used the micro scissors. Probably used these scissors. And I used the pin set. Okay, so let's get started. Move all this out of the way. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate this one right here. Okay, so I have everything together in a Power Project sleeve. This is a sleeve by Creative Memories. It's opened at the top and on one side. It's closed at the bottom and on the left side. And it's a great place to store things temporarily. So like I put everything I wanted to use for this project in here. And then when I'm done with this project, I'll take it out and I'll move on and put the stuff for the next project in here. So I'm going to pull everything out. Okay. And we're going to start by cutting our mushrooms. Now, I've already pre-cut those for you just to save some time, but I'm going to demonstrate it. I did a row of brown and a row of beige. But to use this border punch, you open it up here. Your cardstock goes in this slit right here. Right here. You want to start on this black line. And these little wings right here, the blue part shows the design you just cut out. The silver shows the background. So I want you to be aware of that so that you'll understand what I mean when I say you match up your pattern. Because after you punch this once, then you move your pattern that you just cut out and match it up with the blue so that you don't see the blue. It's covered up by the pattern. Then you know it's in position, you hold it in place and you cut and then you move all the way down. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to put the cardstock in here. We want to start on this black line right here, which means I'm going to move my cardstock so that the end is right there on that black line. Okay? So I've got my cardstock in place, starting at the black line. I'm holding it firmly with my thumb against this raised area. I'm standing up, I'm putting some pressure with the palm of my hand and punch. Okay, then I move it down, I match up my pattern like I talked about so that it covers all the blue and all I see is silver. Hold it in place firmly while it's at the edge of that little raised area and punch. And I do that same thing all the way down. Now in between a few punches, you want to clear out your scrap so that it don't get caught up in there. Match up your patterns so it's covering the blue and punch. Match up your pattern so it covers the blue and punch. So you would do that with your beige, which I did here, and with your brown because we were going to layer these on top of each other. Okay. Now I'm going to take this one off so we can just focus on this one, but I wanted you to see the other colors. Oh, y'all, I apologize. I didn't do brown. I did green. So we're going to punch out a green one. I'm just going to go with it rather than starting the video over. So I'm a normal scrapbooker, so you see that I make mistakes just like everybody else does. Okay. So I'm going to do this one really quick with no explanation since I just explained how it worked. And you can see how I really use this. I got so used to using the brown that I just resorted back to that. Okay, so now I have it done in green, and I like the two tones of this green. Okay, so green and beige. All right. So the first thing I want to do is take my mat and determine which part of the green I'm going to use. Basically, I want to go at the bottom, and I want to start and end where I can come as close as I can, not to cutting off the edge of a mushroom. So I'm going to cut right here, because I'm going to cut off like right here with scissors right there, and that will end a mushroom, and then I'll cut this off, and then I'm going to leave this little green one. It's going to cut just a little bit off, but that's okay because it's going to be covered up. Now, okay, so now I also want to cut this with my trimmer. I want to leave a little bit at the bottom. I can always trim that off later, but leave about that much on the bottom. And now I'm going to cut where I drew my pencil lines. Hopefully I can find them. Yeah, right here. So I'm going to cut that, and then I'm just going to cut along where that mushroom should be and even it out. And I'll save this because I can probably use it for something else. And then right here is where I want to cut around this little mushroom. Okay. And I'm going to cut some of that off. Save that to use for something else. I save almost everything. So now I'm going to mount this on here. But first, I'm going to grab this mat. This has lines on it. It's a silicone mat. This is something you can order from me on my Creative Memories website link. And again, you can find that if you go to michellesizemore.com with one L in it. My Creative Memories website link is on there. And I say, I'm sorry, you can't order this. You can't order this as a client because it is under advisor exclusives. That's what I wanted to say. I can order it for you. So my email address is on my website, so you can email me with your info and your address and everything, and let me know if you want to order this. It comes in a set. It has a big one, the border one, and it has a square one, which I can't find at the moment, but it's good for cards and things. So it's a silicone mat. It's great to use with the repositionable tape runner because the repositionable, that's a mouthful, the repositionable tape runner does not stick to this. So when you're cutting something like this, it has all these little intricate cutouts. So you want to put your tape runner on the back, your repositionable tape runner on the back, and the excess is going to come off on whatever's behind it. So I'm not going to use cardstock. I'm going to use this. And it's also, I'm not going to do it straight on my table because I want to protect my table. So just watch what I mean. So I'm going to put some repositionable tape runner on here, and I just put the pointy part down, and then I pull toward me. I kind of want to be generous behind the mushrooms, and then I'm going to put a little bit back here. And the great thing is the excess would normally come off on what's behind it, but because it's a silicone mat, it doesn't. It just stays here and rolls back in. So it's really great to keep from having messes. Okay. So now I'm going to mount this down. It's not going to be perfect. I'll trim it when I'm done, but I wanted to end at that mushroom right there. going to come up just a little bit. No, let's go down here. Let's go down here. I'm going to come down like this. Okay, so at least I've got that whole mushroom on there. And this one will cut off just a little bit, but it's fine because it's going to be tucked behind another layer of mushrooms. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off from the back. Okay, now I want to layer these beige mushrooms on top and sort of stagger them just a little bit. So let's see. I kind of want the green ones to peek out. So I don't want to like put it right over it because then you won't see it, but I want it like this, but kind of stagger it like that. I like that, okay? So again, I want to try to keep as many of my mushrooms intact at the ends as I can, and I think I can. Okay, I'm going to grab my pencil. And I'm just going to, this is where I want this to end. So it's ending at the edge of this orange. And this is ending at the edge of, on the outside of that pencil line. Okay, so I'm going to cut that right there. First though, before I do, I'm going to cut off some of this bottom. I'm not getting it exact yet. I'm just cutting some of it off to get it out of the way. The blade's going to come down right here on this left-hand side dotted line. So, and then I can use this for something later. Okay, so this just makes it a little easier to work with. I'm going to grab my little micro scissors and I am just going to cut where I drew that line. But then I want to round off just a little bit so that mushroom still looks pretty intact. And then I'm going to cut here, but I'm going to curve around this mushroom just a little bit. Okay, and that's going to go extend out past my card just a little, and I'll even it up later. Now I just want to look at this and see if there's any parts I need to cut off. Right here, there's a little jagged edge. So I'm going to take my micro scissors and just cut that. And there's one there. It's fine, like it, most people wouldn't notice it, but I do, so I don't like it. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my silicone mat, put my repositionable tape runner on the back of all my mushrooms. Okay. Now I want to look at this and layer my beige on top of my green best I can, where I can, and I still see another little edge I want to cut. Y'all, these micro scissors are really great. They get in all these little grooves. They're super sharp. Be careful when you store them so you don't grab them because they are super sharp. I wouldn't want you to get cut. Okay, so my main goal is to line it up with this edge right here. Make sure they're staggered so you see the green ones too. That little mushroom ends right there at the edge, so I'm happy with that. And then I just want to go cut off the bottom. And I can use my regular scissors for that. I could use the micro ones too, it doesn't really matter. But I want to cut off the bottom, even with the bottom of that. So, and this is not quite even, so I'm just going to cut a little sliver off so it looks like it finishes right over there on this side. Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay, so that's how to do the hardest part. And then these little flowers are right here. So I'm not going to take them off because I want to save this, but I used this blue one right here with the leaves pointing up, this orange one here, and then this blue one here. Now let me tell you about this part right here, which I would mount this before the stickers because it goes under them. I use this, but I just wanted something kind of to finish off the bottom. But what I did was I cut it so that I could make a longer line, and I just pieced it together. So I just cut it, so it ended up with strips and then just pieced them together. You can probably tell if you look close, it's pieced together right there and right there, but you could barely tell. Now I should go finish that off a little bit with scissors, but I did it pretty quick. Now, I want to tell you one more thing. So this doesn't have lines on it with the photo mat, but I did want one with lines on it. So in the past, what I used for this was our Creative Memories ruled paper, but we don't have it anymore. I'm not sure if they're going to restock it, make it different or what, but we don't have it now. So I just went to Amazon and I typed in lined template or lined stencil. So I just ordered it. It's going to come to my house. So it's a stencil with lines on it. And I would just take that and put it over here and very faintly draw my pencil lines so that I could write straight on here. Very faint so that there's not much to erase. And then I would take my Creative Memories pen. We have this awesome new pen case that goes with our Rainbow Dots collection. You open it up and it rolls out. Over here are our regular pens that are bold tip on one side and fine tip on the other. And over here are our dot pens, which have another use, which I'll show later. And then there's about 3 extra holes. I put the black and brown because I use those the most. I used a brown pen on here. So I would take the brown pen out and I would write on my lines. And then once the ink is super dry, don't do it right away. Wait till the ink is very dry. I would go back and take a good eraser and just gently erase off those lines. So if you draw them super duper faint, you won't have a lot to erase. So that's what I would do now. But what I did here was I wrote on a piece of this ruled paper and then I cut it down to 5.5 by 3.5 with my 12-inch trimmer and put it on here before I did my decorating. But we can't do that anymore, but that's okay. I want to encourage y'all to just take a look at my website and look at all the National Scrapbook Day stuff. It is so pretty. I love the whole collection, and I think you will too. And again, here's the mat that I just made. And once again, I want to show you the others. And I'll just put this back together, put some tape runner on the back here, and put this together. And these are 3 different mats using a similar technique. Some of the mats, you know, you can flip vertical. Well, you can flip all of them vertical. Some of them say things like one side might be a horizontal and then the other side might be vertical. But if you cover it up, it doesn't matter if you use horizontal or vertical because you're going to cover it up with your ruled paper. All right, I hope y'all enjoyed that and hope you guys have a wonderful day.